Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour, or if it's your first time, welcome in. I'm your host, the first name that you'll see on the podcast. I'm Ross Pitt, and as always, here with me today is Wizzy Puff.
My name comes second.
His name comes second because W comes after R.
That sounds like a made-up reason, but I'll be okay with it.
So, if you don't know, this is the podcast where we read fan fictions that people write about My Little Pony. But before we read the fan fictions, you gotta go into the description and either, read them yourself, or you can like the story. They don't know we're doing this.
Don't tell the authors.
So, today, you might be able to tell by the fact that it's a bit teeny tiny, probably a bit shorter than our previous episodes. I'll be honest, that the last episode that we recorded, that one's probably going to take a lot out of me to edit. So this one, I just want a nice, clean ride. Hopefully it's not as short as, Think Forever Young has been our shortest episode. You know what? Let me go check. At a quick glance, Forever Young was 35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Must be our shortest then.
If I had to guess, yeah. There are a few other 30-something minute episodes, but I think those all clock in a bit over.
Yeah, 39 for Only Day, 38 for Vinyl Scratch Bakes Cookies.
Oh, The Dragon Who Would Not Sleep is also 38. Look at that. Wow. Alright, yeah. This will probably be our shortest episode, but you never know. These are certainly going to be some of the shorter fanfictions we've read on the site.
But it's okay, because the ponies are also shorter.
You're right. Speaking of the ponies who are also shorter, the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
Woo!
Love those three. They're all fantastic. And yeah, we haven't given them enough love. Think the last episode we did that involved them, one of them died.
Whoa. I thought the last one was the one where, with the anonymous thing.
No, it was That Isn't Me and Ghost in the Graveyard.
Oh, that's right.
But today we're going to read two, I think, more lighthearted CMC fics. The first one is called Now What? By Dreadnought.
Chapter 1. Minimum Standard. It was a beautiful day in Ponyville. Celestia's golden sun hung high in the sky, whilst gentle breezes carried the scents of fresh flowers. Upon a lush green meadow near the ever-free forest, the main six enjoyed a picnic. Well, all except Pinkie Pie, who was helping the cakes with baking at Sugar Cube Corner. Twilight sat reading a thick tome from her vast library. Rainbow Dash lay on her back, sunning herself, sporting her trademark black sunglasses. Applejack ate a piece of apple pie, while Rarity sipped on sweet tea.
You almost said Applejack ate a piece of fruit.
I was gonna say fruit pie. And that wouldn't have been wrong.
Yeah, I suppose. Apple is a fruit.
Still up for debate, but culinarily, we're still on the apple as a fruit. We're not taking that away like we did tomatoes.
I thought we took tomatoes away from veggies.
Yeah, they belong in the veggie category if you ask me.
I agree.
Comment down below which side you're on so we know who to block. Fluttershy enjoyed watching the squirrels and rabbits play happily upon the grass.
Timberwolves!
The 5 ponies jumped to their hooves. This is going to be difficult, remembering who's who.
Yeah. Well, good luck to us.
Okay, I'll be Applejack, and you're Apple Bloom, I think?
Yep.
That sounded like Apple Bloom, said Applejack, bounding off towards the forest with the other 4 close behind. The ponies sprinted across the meadow, their hearts racing. Timberwolves! Apple Bloom must be in danger! If those beasts got to her before they did, Apple Bloom would be torn limb from limb. Applejack led the group, with fear in her heart, but with a grim determination to fight a whole pack of wolves by herself to save her sister. The 5 reached the edge of the meadow. Nothing. Where the hay is she? Asked a visibly shaken Applejack. The 5 ponies stood there, looking for signs of a struggle. Anything. Hoofprints, fur, blood. It was deadly quiet. Only the faint rustle of the wind through the trees could be heard. Then, slowly, the 5 ponies began to hear soft giggles. "Who's there?" demanded Applejack. Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo emerged from behind a bush. They desperately tried to hold back their giggling, but failed and let out hoots of laughter.
"We got you good,"
cried Apple Bloom. "Apple Bloom, is this all a joke?" yelled Applejack, the fear in her eyes being replaced with anger.
Apple
Bloom, you had me scared out of my wits, yelled Applejack.
Sweetie Belle, I can't believe you are in on this prank,
admonished Rarity.
Not cool,
said Rainbow Dash, shaking her head at Scootaloo. The 3 fillies began to realize they were in deep trouble.
Gulp.
"We're just pulling a prank," explained Scootaloo.
"Yeah, Rainbow Dash pulled a bunch of them,"
added Sweetie Belle. "Pranks are supposed to be good-natured. This was mean," said Twilight. The CMC exchanged glances amongst themselves. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
I love that you added 2 of them there.
I had to,
said the 3 in unison, producing the biggest eyes and poutiest lips they could muster. Seeing this, Applejack felt her fury die away. I reckon y'all learned your lesson.
We sure did,
replied Mickey Mouse. replied Sweetie Belle. The 8 ponies stood there, looking at each other. Dash turned to Twilight.
What's going on?
I don't know. An aura glowed around her horn, and she teleported a thick book, using her magic to levitate it in front of her face. She began leafing through the pages.
It's the rules.
Crossover fanfic, first time.
There is a recent Equestria Girls Fairly Odd Parents fanfic that's like pretty long, surprisingly long.
Oh my god.
And it's got pretty good reviews from what I can remember.
Oh my god.
Maybe we should read that someday.
How do you work Fairly Odd Parents into a fanfic? I'll never know. It's like SpongeBob. There's just not enough lore.
Actually, there's a surprising amount of lore I've found.
Dang. Maybe I stopped watching before they added all the lore.
No, you stopped watching probably before all the lore got all kind of janky and didn't make sense as much as it used to. It never really made sense, but you know.
Okay, I think I got it.
What is it?
Asked Fluttershy, concern pervading her voice. According to the rules, we need to hit 1,000 words. Looks of confusion spread among the other ponies. Well, how many are we up to? Asked Applejack. 523.
But we learned our friendship lesson. Didn't even take half an hour.
Exclaimed Dash. Doesn't matter. We have to hit 1,000 words. It's the rules.
Wizzy, what's our timestamp?
12:50.
Damn, we need to hit at least 30 minutes.
Or else we can't upload this.
What if we actually just record 30 minutes of this? And we're just like, well, that's so short if we cut that down. So we just upload the entire thing just as it is.
Yeah, just leaving all the dead air and mistakes.
My keyboard clacking right here.
Beautiful ASMR.
So we just have to stand here until we hit 1,000?
Asked Rarity. Pretty much. Now we're at 568.
Man, words go fast. How have I not uploaded like 1 million stories to this site? You could just do anything, it'll be fine. No sweat. I'll just perform some of my Wonderbolt moves.
Dash leapt into the sky, performing corkscrews, loops, dives, and even some flat spins. She landed on the grass.
So, we should be at 1,000 now, right?
606.
You're kidding. That didn't even add 50 words?
No.
Well, how about my fabulous sundress? I was hoping for more CMC in this story, by the way.
Right?
Did not pick the right one for the CMC episode, I guess. But it's a really funny one right now, so I don't mind.
Asked Rarity. She showed off her lovely yellow dress made of fine silk.
I really hope we get to 666.
They just stop there. Suddenly they summon Discord or friggin' who's the devil dude?
T-Rex?
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Roar. Is that why he has such short arms?
No, he actually has kind of lanky arms.
Dang, he can reach me.
Yep. He's shorter than you in his base form, but once he gets all the magic, he's taller than you, actually.
Whoa, even taller than me.
Yep. Which
That's
is
a lot of
very
magic.
surprising. Wizzy is quite possibly the tallest person I know.
Wah! Until you get to know T-Rock.
Yeah, we went out on a date a couple of times, but
Oh?
I just don't think I know him, you know?
He does seem like he's a bit more reserved than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But maybe if you could just, crack his shell open, you could really get to know him better. And then maybe you can finally banish him back to Tartarus.
Oh, yeah! And what if I go to Tartarus with him? Maybe we can get to know each other there.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, that would be a lot of time to
How are you going to get
talk.
into Tartarus? Don't you have to, commit a lot of atrocities to get into Tartarus?
Yeah, it's unclear. It's more of just, coincidentally, I was just listening to the Celestia Code where I was talking about Tartarus. Tartarus is more of just like a prison for animals, honestly, for beasts. And which, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of cruel, because these things are just animals, essentially. Maybe they're like Gustav the crocodile, I don't know.
Is it like an SCP containment thing?
Sure, but it's like they're all just animals that we've seen in the show, like a manticore that was there. And he's like, nothing. Maybe the Hydra? Yeah, anyways. The only intelligent being I could see is Tirek, really.
Huh, I thought most of the villains would end up there, but...
Cozy Glow ended up there.
Oh yeah, the child!
Good times. They arrested a child. I mean, she was a pretty big threat, so I don't blame them.
She's like Princess from the Powerpuff Girls. Alright, back to the story. 636.
Humph! My dress could have easily been 1,000 words on its own.
Well, I could give a lecture on obscure magical history, starting with...
No, Twilight, we don't need that.
Interjected Dash.
Fluttershy, you say something. Oh, I, have nothing to say. Jeez. Well, let me tell a joke.
Said Rainbow Dash.
3 college mayors walked into a frat house and Rainbow Dash. This isn't the place for a joke rated mature.
The fic is rated E, Rainbow. You're gonna get us ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Admonished Rarity. Yeah, we've got young'uns here, added Applejack. Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes.
Right.
Twilight looked in her book. 735.
Can we make this go faster?
Asked a visibly frustrated Rarity. Give it some time, replied Twilight. 2 hours later. 756.
You mean we only had 20 words in the last 2 hours?
Did they not know how to get the word count up higher just by speaking?
They're kind of stupid. Every pony in Equestria, and this is a fact, collectively has the intelligence of a Pop-Tart.
They have the one brain cell that they share.
And it's not even a particularly big one.
It's enough for Celestia to be holding.
Yeah, true.
Cried Rainbow Dash. 21. Every word counts. And now we're at 780.
Hold on. Timberwolf. Okay, now I remember. Applejack, how long do we have to stay here? You would think that would be an easy one to remember, but it's not. It's weirdly the hardest one to remember.
Whined Applebloom. Until we hit 1,000 words. You'll remember this next time you'll think about pulling a prank.
Well, I don't think it's too bad.
Spoke Fluttershy.
It's a lovely day. Yes, but we're forced to stay until we hit 1,000.
Replied Rarity. 834.
This is going to take forever.
Complained Sweetie Belle. Rainbow Dash took off into the air. What are you doing? Asked Twilight.
Something I should have done 300 words ago.
Rainbow Dash streaked across the sky, leaving her signature rainbow-colored trail in her wake.
Put some clothes on.
He's a pony. Ponies don't wear clothes.
Don't go out streaking like this. Disgusting. You should probably read that again. I interrupted it.
Okay. Rainbow Dash streaked across the sky, leaving her signature rainbow-colored trail in her wake. Now what? Asked Scootaloo.
I don't know.
Replied Applebloom. 890.
Oh, we're almost there. Once we get done here, I'm going to the spa. I need some relaxation after this boring experience.
Declared rarity. 915.
We're so close!
Cried Sweetie Belle. Yeah, just a little more and we're all done, said Applejack.
Done spelled D-U-N. My oh my, you are so clever. Yeehaw.
I get it when it's like the AH for instead of I, so it's ah, but this doesn't change the pronunciation.
I don't get it, you know? Like, shortening 2 words into 1 word, that I get. That's perfectly fine if you ask me. And even that's okay. That's fine. I don't mind that. But, like, it's just rude.
I wonder if they wrote the friggin' Applejack script that way originally, and that's where all this comes from.
Oh, maybe. Let's see if I could find a My Little Pony script online. MLP script. This'll pad out the episode, Wizzy. Just you wait. We'll hit 30 minutes in no time. I can only find the transcripts, not the cis scripts anyway. Season 1 transcripts. Applebuck season. Boy howdy, I got my work cut out for me. That means that there is the biggest bumper crop o' apples I ever laid eyes on. Now that's how you do it. All so natural words. All words where she's just talking normally in a script, but it would have a southern accent. So you would imagine a southern accent, right?
933. Every pony keep talking. It doesn't matter what we say. I like to ride on my scooter. I like to buck apples.
You should see my fabulous fall collection. Timberwolf. Okay. I can't wait to tell Granny Smith about this.
Just then, blue and pink blurs came streaking over the horizon. Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie appeared. Rainbow Dash said,
I brought the ringer. Pinkie, let her rip.
What's the ringer?
Pinkie.
Oh god, why is Pinkie the ringer?
She's pretty, she's talkative.
Oh, I see what they're doing now.
Yeah, you got it.
The end. Author's notes. I hope you enjoyed this story. It came to me one night and then it started gnawing at my brain, screaming, write me, write me, write me before you forget. I'm super busy at the office. I often push 70 hours a week and spend what little time I have working on my other fantastic stories, shameless plugs for Dreams of the Heart and Lost Pegasus. But nevertheless, I sat down and in a little over an hour, I cranked it out. It was a little challenging getting 1,000 words. As you can tell from my other stories, I don't have any problem with writing long fics, but the challenge was writing a short enough fic that would have a beginning, middle, and end, while still having plenty of space for the annoying loafing the characters had to do. I think I balanced the two pretty well. It was also challenging to get it to be exactly 1,000. Towards the end, I had to trim a few words to fit Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie appearing, but then I had to go back and recount all the words throughout so that Twilight's running tab would be accurate. Oh well, I think this story turned out well. Feel free to leave feedback, I encourage it, so that I know what you have and how I can improve as a writer. Also let me know if you prefer my more serious work. Again, shameless plugs for Dreams of the Heart and Lost Pegasus. Or my shorter comedic stories. In the end, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to finish all my stories. Plus, while I was away, I wrote a number of short comedies, so you'll be getting those of the coming months, along with some new chapters of Lost Pegasus, and if I can find a nice quiet place to think and write, Dreams of the Heart. Keep writing, Dreadnought.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yo, this story slapped.
That was a good story. I really like the author's note.
Yeah, that was probably the best author's note we've had, to be honest.
That surely must have gotten us to 30 minutes by now, right?
I really like this story. It had a lot of nuance.
You know, I've always been very highly approving of meta stories like this. So I really
haven't done many yet.
Yeah, there was, there's stuff like 6 characters, the other 6 characters. Let's just go through all of the stories that we have read and see which ones are meta and which are not.
I don't know if we have time for that.
Okay.
We spent long enough time figuring out how many people died.
If you're wondering how many people died, well, we didn't spend how many people died in stories that we've read so far. We did how many fics we have with people who have died. 19, by the way, was the final count, but it can get a bit iffy with some of those stories.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just don't know if a horse is dead.
Yeah.
You just kick the horse and you're like, is that a dead horse? And you keep kicking it.
Yeah. I don't know. A cute smile with some fangs showing. That one was pretty meta, I would say.
Oh yeah, that one was.
Maybe Fluttershy and Rarity has tea with Jesus. It's got some pretty meta stuff in it, but I don't think the characters are particularly meta.
Something I really liked in this story was they were talking about how Pinkie Pie was conveniently away at the beginning. And I was really hoping that meant she was going to make a grand entrance. All just to end with that.
Yeah, that was lovely. I really liked Apple Bloom's voice. I liked what I did there.
Timberwolves!
Legitimately, the hardest thing I've ever done, I think. Were we the bad guys is technically meta. It's not like meta in the terms of this, but it does have sort a lot of meta themes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what is the next story called, my boy?
The Cutie Mark Crusaders are in a 1990s era anti-drug PSA.
Now, I feel like... Oh, sorry, you should probably say who it's by.
By Cassandra, my O-sis best pony.
My OC.
Oh my god, I read that as sis. I'm too online. Cassandra, my OC is best pony.
And I feel like for this... Oh, hold on. 99th like. For this, I feel like we should give a bit of a warning, because this does contain the tag narcotics. So...
But even more frightening, it also contains the tag Nightmare Moon.
Jesus Christ. Our Lord and Savior. Oh, never mind.
I had tea with...
I was only the 98th up the... Wizzy, become the 99th.
Oh, yes!
Good job, Wizzy. And one of you could become the 100th if you're lucky enough.
Ooh, perfect way to drag them into clicking that link.
Exactly. And before we begin, Wizzy, what are your thoughts on drugs?
My thoughts on drugs are, drug good, eat the drug.
Very insightful. My thoughts are the same as Ronald Reagan.
No, Ross.
And Theodore Roosevelt. He was against drugs, right?
I wonder. I have no clue what the old president's positions were on drug use, but I'm sure it was a lot different than they would be today.
Fun fact about Pink Floyd. You know Pink Floyd, those guys?
Yeah.
I think I heard this from my father once, who's a big Pink Floyd fan. Like, big Pink Floyd fan. His favorite band. They kicked their, I believe, lead singer out. They kicked someone out for doing drugs.
Rude.
Which is insane to me if you know Pink Floyd.
Right?
That doesn't make a lick of sense.
We're just supposed to act like we know about drugs. We're not supposed to do them.
Drugs bad.
It was an ibuprofen. An ibuprofen sounds like drug slang to me. Kick him out.
Get him out of here. Beatles definitely did drugs, though.
Oh, 100%. I'm pretty sure they were open about it, too.
Good for them.
I could be wrong, but if they weren't, it was pretty much an open secret, right?
Oh, wait a minute. I said good for them. They said, oh, we're bigger than Jesus. Fuck them. That's my obligatory I'm a Christian reference.
Are you saying this because of who was the guy who killed John Lennon? Didn't you say that was his reason?
Oh, gosh, I hope not.
I think that was.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That could have just been like a fake rumor or something.
That would be so dumb. So, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are in a 1990s era anti-drug PSA.
Chapter 1. Just Say No.
Thank you.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders were at recess, playing with Pogs and swapping Pokemon cards. Suddenly, Nightmare Moon accosted them. You could tell she was bad news because she was wearing a baseball cap backwards.
Get out of there!
Run away, Cutie Mark Crusaders.
Hey,
she said.
You wanna do some drugs?
Say what? Said Scootaloo.
Drugs. You know, like all that cool fools are doing. I don't know about this,
said Apple Bloom.
Flash Sentry from the Royal Guard visited our class the other day, and he told us that drugs are bad. Now hold on. Yeah, I'm doing the same voices. Yeah.
I also did the same voice for Scootaloo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Said Sweetie Belle.
If we don't do drugs, then we won't be cool. But if we do drugs, we'll not only be cool, but might get our cutie marks in doing drugs.
No, Sweetie Belle.
Sweetie Belle, that's not it. Well then, What are you waiting for?
Asked Nightmare Moon, who was suddenly wearing a long black cloak and carrying a scythe. I'm still not convinced, said Scootaloo. Flash Sentry said I couldn't do sparts as well if I was doing drugs.
Well, then you've forced my hoof,
said Nightmare Moon.
I shall have to resort to a peer pressure spell.
She fired a cascade of magical runes shaped like the letter P that hit the three of them in the face. Scootaloo contemplated for a minute, then spoke. If drugs are rad, according to the majority of fools, then who are we to question them? Nightmare Moon cackled evilly.
Okay, so that's really a good argument though, right?
Yeah. Drugs are rad according to the majority of fools.
If the majority of fools do say that drugs are rad, that is objectively the correct merit to go by.
Mm-hmm. Peer pressure is always right.
Exactly.
Class dismissed, every pony. And don't forget to do your homework.
Have we ever done a Miss Cheerily story?
She's been in some of them. Well, there's the one with where there are two colts on the playground in the Pride Month fic. I think she was in that.
Oh yeah, I think she briefly showed up off screen or whatever.
Something like that. But we have definitely not done a cheerily focused story.
We should do that at some point. Next week, no, I'm kidding.
Said Cheerily.
Actually, we're gonna do drugs.
Said Apple Bloom. Cheerily gasped. Apple Bloom! Sweetie Belle! Scootaloo! Have you already forgotten about what that handsome god Flash Sentry told you?
Okay, so random. Totally ship Flash Sentry and Cheerily now.
How? They're probably around the same age.
I would say so, yeah.
Oh man, she's just trying to hide her crush on Flash Sentry throughout the whole thing.
That would be so Cheerily. We have. Forgetting things is an effect of doing drugs.
Admitted Sweetie Belle. Well, they can ruin your life. Why, just look at these before and after pictures of a pony who did drugs just once. The Cutie Mark Crusaders' faces went pale. Why would you show that to a child? Wailed Scootaloo.
I need an adult,
said Apple Bloom.
I'm indiscriminately phobic of all drugs now.
Cried Sweetie Belle. You girls need to remind yourselves of the things you love. Things that you couldn't do when you're high. For me, it's teaching. Teaching is my anti-drug.
At the flower cellar is my Auntie Roseluck.
Wait, what? The flower cellar? Did that just come out of nowhere?
I think so. I think, you know what? It's probably something we're just not getting because we are recording this early in the morning.
Probably.
2 p.m.
Or maybe it's a reference that we just don't get.
Possibly. You know what? If you're listening to the YouTube version, tell us down in the comments below.
It might just be a reference to an anti-drug PSA we haven't seen.
Could be.
Added Apple Bloom. The Cutie Mark Crusaders were on their way home when they were stopped by Nightmare Moon.
Hey, kids. You, should do drugs.
Stop right there, Nightmare Moon. Wait, is that Flash Sentry?
No.
This is someone completely different.
Oh, shit. Who's the Masked Matterhorn again? I forgot. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
For some reason, I thought that was just going to be the Cutie Mark Crusaders saying that in unison.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Masked Matterhorn is Twilight.
I was Twilight in the last one.
Yep.
Stop right there, Nightmare Moon. The Cutie Mark Crusaders gasped.
Beloved children's comic book superhero Masked Matterhorn!
They exclaimed in unison. The one and only, said the Masked Matterhorn. Nightmare Moon, you are trying to fill these fillies' lives with your drugs, and that's whack.
And just to be clear, Twilight is not actually a superhero called the Masked Matterhorn. That just happened in a season 4? Yeah, season 4 episode, where they get sucked into a comic book, and she becomes beloved children's comic book superhero Masked Matterhorn. Yeah, I like to think that it's Twilight showing off her acting abilities. Y'all should go listen to Dad Hive Mind, by the way.
Oh, man.
Surprisingly, pretty similar.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Peer pressure.
she cried, firing up another spell.
Oh yes there is, for I have the no shield.
She pulled out a medieval shield emblazoned with a no-smoking symbol and crouched down behind it. The peer pressure spell struck the shield and bounced off harmlessly.
Well, what sorcery is this?
Said an aghast Nightmare Moon.
It is the superpower all ponies possess, the power to say no to drugs.
Preach. How dare you impede on my quest to make every pony do drugs? Fine, I shall take my leave, but you haven't seen the last of me.
I think they have, said Flash Sentry. Drugs are illegal, Nightmare Moon. You're under arrest for possession and distribution. You have the right to remain silent.
We shan't. I haven't actually had to remind myself of how I do a voice twice in an episode before.
Now you have two characters?
Yep, and I keep forgetting them. Thanks for saving our hides, Mass Matterhorn,
said Applebloom.
You're welcome, my little ponies. But the real heroes are the ones who keep the streets clean and free of drugs. The brave members of the Royal Guard like Flash Sentry.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders spent the rest of their school years getting ostracized and called blank flanks, but it was worth it because they were drug-free. The end.
Hell yes.
As the projector stopped spinning, Flash Sentry flipped on the lights and stowed the film reel back in its canister. So we'll show this in classrooms all across Equestria. I'll need a startup budget of 20,000 bits to cover expenses, branded products, and my personal stipend. Stipend? Stupendous.
Parava. This is one of the worst ideas that's ever crossed my desk,
said Shining Armor, trying out his new accent. Oh, well, can I date your sister?
Get out.
That's the end.
Actually, there's another chapter.
Oh no, there's a second chapter.
Yeah, would you believe it?
Chapter 2, Epilogue. Thanks so much for helping out with this, girls, said Flash Sentry.
No problem, Mr. Sentry,
said Scootaloo.
Now, about our fee?
Fee? Oh, did you think? I'm sorry, girls, but this was a volunteer project.
Aw, come on,
said Sweetie Belle.
We could have spent the afternoon crusading instead of this complete
She glanced at her flank, which was still unmarked.
waste of time.
You're teaching foals just like you about the dangers of drugs. Isn't that its own reward? He asked, tussling Sweetie Belle's mane.
Well, there's only one way to drown my sorrows,
said Applebloom.
By breaking into Big Mac's cellar and swiping a bottle of hard apple cider.
Oh no, Applebloom! That sounds like she's done it before.
Yep.
Flash Sentry cringed. All right, fine, I have. He dug through his saddlebag. 5 pennies and a picture of Twilight Sparkle. Will that do for pay?
Pleasure doing business with ya,
said Applebloom, taking the goods with her hoof. Oh my gosh, you just got your cutie mark in negotiation! Exclaimed Flash Sentry.
Really?
Applebloom's eyes darted to her still blank flank, her ears flattened, and her face fell.
That was low,
she said with a pout. Really, the end.
Well, that was The Cutie Mark Crusaders are in a 1990s era anti-drug PSA by Cassandra, my OC's best pony.
Oh, that was so much.
Yep. I fucking love those anti-drug PSAs. I think they're real funny. And I'm just gonna say it right now. Kids, don't do drugs. Adults do all the drugs. All of them.
It's truly just so the kids can't have any. That's why adults do drugs.
Yeah, if I do drugs, then none of the kids will be able to be subjected to that sort of thing. So, that was a really funny one.
I really think the Cutie Mark Crusaders were the perfect characters for this.
They really were. I like how it's Sweetie Belle, I believe, who was going, well, maybe we should do drugs. Because I think that Scootaloo would be the most likely to do drugs in the entire show, sans a few one-off characters.
Wait, out of the characters in the entire show?
Yeah, sans a few one-off characters.
I feel like the entirety of the Changelings hotbox their cave every night.
I can't blame you. I definitely don't see Sweetie Belle being the one to suggest that. Scootaloo definitely.
Well, I was thinking maybe she's just so innocent that she doesn't know that drugs are bad. So she's like, well, maybe they're good. I've never heard of them before. And Nightmare Moon is our leader, in a way.
Sure. Yeah, so did Flash Sentry get actually Luna to act as Nightmare Moon? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Oh, he probably got friggin' Cadence to dress as her.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, if there was a takeaway from this story, I think it's that Flash Sentry doesn't get enough credit. He's doing Equestria a favor.
Right? All to get with Twilight, too.
Absolutely.
Clearly, his priorities are in order.
Yep.
Do you want to do the send-off?
Yep. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for listening to this fantabulastic Oopa-Doopita-Loop Cooper, Montreal, Canada. Absolutely beautiful episode of the Fan Fiction Power Hour. You could read these stories, Now What by Dreadnought and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, are in a 1990s era anti-drug PSA by Cassandra is my OC's best pony in the description. Cassandra my OC's best pony. Read those in the description and go give them a like as well. Read their other stories. Be nice. Let's be nice here. And also go listen to our other stuff. You could find us on wherever you get your podcasts. We're even on Audible. We have the only fan fictions on Audible. That's what I'm saying. Not legally, though.
Hey, we have not seen another fanfiction on other fanfiction podcast on Audible.
That's true. I haven't. Did you know that Audible you could get 100, like over 1,000 books, audiobooks for only a month? And even if you unsubscribe from that subscription, you could still keep those books that you download. Did you know that?
Are we sponsored?
Nope.
Oh, you just really like Audible.
I love Audible. Even though Amazon, you know.
We all know.
Yeah. And yeah, you could find me on Twitter at RossPitchShark or RossPitchSharkHunter on YouTube. Not gonna really upload much to either of those things, but you know, that's fun. Where can they find you, Wizzy?
They can find me when it's their turn to seek. Right now, I get to find them.
Man, I've got to remember to do that each episode. Because like I like how you're doing that. That's funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Wizzy.
All right, Pinky, let her rip.
Bye.
Recuérdame.
That's an interesting word. Where'd you learn that?
I learned that from the Disney movie Coco.
Really? What does it mean, do you think?
It means remember me.
Wow. Well, that's really nice.
But it sounded like record, so, you know.
Interesting.